Hello, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be doing a closet purge. There are quite a few clothes in my closet that have been on probation, if you will, for quite some time, so I'm going to try them on and see if I want to get rid of them or if I want to keep them. So let's do the thing. Alright, I have some base clothes on here for trying things on, and I have a pile of clothing before me. Let's get trying things on. First thing is this dress. I got this at a clothing swap in my neighborhood, and I do really like it. The biggest issue is that it has a very low neckline. Here is said dress. The length is pretty decent. It's maybe slightly shorter than I might generally go because it it just barely covers my knees, which, being an old-fashioned girl, I like things to cover my knees. It does also have gigantic pockets, which is obviously a huge plus. However, the neckline is very low and tends to gape open and is very revealing, so that is kind of what makes me not love this dress. You know, I think what I'll do is actually sew a pleat into place on the neckline, because then I probably would wear this quite a bit more because it's very beachy and cute. So this shall be altered, and I believe I'll keep it. Next up is this skirt. I made this skirt when I was first starting to get into vintage, and it was also relatively early in my sewing skills. This fabric really likes to fray, and I didn't really do any finishing on the inside seams. This skirt has gone in and out of my to get rid of pile throughout its life in my closet. It does not have very much volume, that's as far as it can go. It also has some weird puckering things with the stitches around the waistline that you probably don't notice, but it looks relatively nice from a distance, but it's partly just because I know that it is kind of poorly made. I don't know. I kind of like it. This with my light pink turtleneck might be just perfection. I think I'm gonna keep this. That's still a little bit tentative, but I think I'm gonna keep it. Next up is this red checkered shirt. Generally in my closet, I like to avoid the color red. I gravitate towards a lot of pinks and blues and Alice in Wonderland-y kinds of colors, but this shirt, first of all, fits me beautifully. And as a sort of autumn farmer shirt, I do really like it. So this is one of the few red pieces that I actually have enjoyed quite a bit. I think I'm actually going to keep this. It fits me in quite a vintage way, actually. So this is going in the keep pile. Next is this vest. This vest has a very cool vibe, and I do really like sort of waistcoat-ish vests. However, this vest is not particularly flattering. It also happens to be missing a button, but I've refrained from getting rid of this quite a few times because the design is very cute. It just doesn't quite fit right. Even though there's things that I like about this, there is someone who it will fit much better and who will like it much better, so I am going to get rid of this. Next up is another red item that I made. It is this pair of 1940s, 50s inspired shorts, and holy, does this look vibrant on camera. I do not wear these shorts very often. I wear them maybe once or twice every summer. I am definitely getting rid of these. This was when my sewing skills were not quite as good as they are now, and this just fits me kind of weird. It is a little bit tighter on the hips than it should be. It should be much more flaring out and loose. So long. Next is this shirt, or I guess kind of sweater. It's a bit of a fleecy-ish knit material. The design of this shirt is very cute. However, it does not fit me particularly well. It's a little too big, around here, and when I tuck it into stuff, it just looks kind of weird. And I believe it is made of synthetic materials, and it gets kind of sweaty. So, au revoir to this sweater. Next is a shirt that I've actually worn a whole lot, but the biggest reason for that is because I couldn't find something like this that fit me better. It's a simple short-sleeved white button-up, and that is a very convenient thing to have, especially for vintage style, but it just is not quite right. The darts are totally in the wrong spot for me because I'm a very small human being, so it's just not quite right. And there are many things that I choose over this shirt, so I'm going to say goodbye. This next one is very difficult for me. It is this green tinted gray dress. It has very 1940s World War II vibes, and I believe just about every time I've worn this, I've worn it with some like army pins and stuff. I wore this on Remembrance Day once. The top part is very cute and has those sort of Rosie the Riveter vibes going on. It has like basically no shape. It is very rectangular. So I'm going to try this on with a belt. Just one second. There we go. Just about every time I've worn this, I've worn it with a skirt over top of it because the skirt, you can't tell, but it is too short. At least by the vintage standards, it does not cover my knees. The issue with putting skirt over it is that these pockets here are kind of bulky and it kind of doesn't fit under a skirt very well. I could remove the pockets and then just use this for the top section because I do really like the top section. I'm going to keep this because on Remembrance Day, I really like to wear this. Next is a dress that I made out of, I think like a linen-y curtain. This is one of the most ill-fitting garments I've possibly ever made. Or at least it is the most unflattering garment I've ever made. Can you say frumpy? This is like the definition of a frumpy dress. I will say that for a 1920s dress, this is pretty much perfect because the waist hits at my hips. I did that so that I could belt it and it would be like kind of loose up here, but even with a belt on it, it fits pretty dang badly. Part of that is due to the fact that the little belt loops I put on here are very weirdly placed. One of them is smack dab in the middle and smack dab in the back, and I don't know why I did that. This is perfect for like a 1920s costume. It has a ruffle on the bottom that you can't see. However, I do not really do the 1920s, so this can go to the thrift store, probably in like the costume section. Now this next one is the last one here that I made. This is one of the first dresses that I ever made. Now I will say that for a first ever dress, this is quite good. I was very proud of this when I made it, and the skirt is actually quite nice. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but the waist is definitely too high up. It's closer to an empire waist, and then it kind of goes down to my natural waist in the back. But here's the biggest problem with this dress. When I made it, I had no idea how to do like closures or any sort of lace up or put in boning. So what I did is I cut holes in each side in the back, and then instead of finishing them with like thread or putting metal eyelets in there, I used clear nail polish to make it not fray. Creative, yes. Good quality, absolutely not. Because there was no boning or structure going on, I couldn't lace it up because then it would like shrink vertically and it was really weird. So what I did is I cut short little segments of ribbon, and it's not even actual ribbon, it's like seam binding, and I would individually tie closed each set of holes. So this takes forever to actually put on and close. This was a sheet and it has little botanicals on it with all of their names. So I think I'm going to cut some of the fabric off of this because I really like it. I'll probably salvage all the fabric from the skirt, but as it is, we say goodbye. Next thing is this army green skirt. It is really quite long for a sort of pencil skirt. It does have very big pockets, which obviously, once again, is a great score. And the material's nice, but it just, I hate pencil skirts. I swear I am not copying Rachel Maxey. I happen to like vests and dislike pencil skirts. It's just the way it is. But somebody will probably love this skirt and really be able to appreciate its fabulous pockets. I have literally not worn this skirt for like possibly 2 years, so it's definitely her time to say goodbye. Now the last thing is this sweater. Kind of got a blazerish design with the snazzy collar here. This has been in the back of my closet for an incredibly long time, and I just have not worn it, but I think that's because it was in the back of my closet. I kind of forgot that I had it, but it fits quite nicely and it is incredibly comfortable. This would be great for my autumn wardrobe. I am going to try this on with one of my favorite circle skirts. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, I don't know why I have not worn this because this is good. Well, that's a great way to end this with a garment that it turns out that I actually love. So that is the end of this little closet purge and try on. Hopefully soon I'll be doing a closet tour so I can show you all of the clothes that I wear regularly. I'd quickly like to mention that I have this email right here where you can send me strange vintage fashions from prior to the 1970s and I can react to them in videos. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please comment, rate, subscribe, and all that jazz, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Just watch it come back for the next closet purge because I'm sure it's gonna be here.